When he started being called Hot Priest, I suppose that's when you realise that there's something is taking over, because nobody ever says, oh, you played the priest. They always say you play the hot priest or the sexy priest or whatever. So that's when I suppose I knew. And it's still going on, you know. I was in LA recently and people just shout, Hot Priest! from their cars. You think, I don't know what you really want me to do with that. It hasn't passed! That's what somebody said to me the other day. Hello, this is Andrew Scott here, and Esquire have invited me to explain this. So, here we go. Killian Murphy, Barry Keoghan, Andrew Scott. Why does the internet love Irishmen so much? What about Paul Mescal? What's wrong with him? Oh yeah, we had him scratched from this question. That's a joke I didn't. It's really wonderful. There's a real moment for Irish actors at the moment. And not just the men, actually. Saoirse Ronan and Ruth Negga and Alison Oliver. But I'm really proud of those people. Killian and I have known each other for many, many years. We worked together. I adore him. And Barry Keoghan, what a talent. And I guess Paul Mescal. No, stop joking about that. Was there a moment you realised Hot Priest would be a cultural phenomenon? No, I always say this. The character was never called Hot Priest. He was just called Priest in the script. Otherwise, that would be just a bit creepy. So when he started being called Hot Priest, I suppose that's when you realise that there's something is taking over, because nobody ever says, "Oh, you played the priest." They always say you play the hot priest or the sexy priest or whatever. So that's when I suppose I knew. And it's still going on, you know. I was in LA recently and people just shout, Hot Priest! from their cars. You think, I don't know what you really want me to do with that. It hasn't passed! That's what somebody said to me the other day. Anyway, there are worse things to be called in life. Has Andrew Scott discussed what the fox symbolises to him? I have an idea, but I think people come up with so many more interesting ideas about what the fox is. Foxes are so magical, and you do see them in London, particularly at night, and they are kind of ethereal, magical creatures. It should be said about the fox that did appear in Fleabag. He was a showbiz fox originally, and everybody was quite nervous about this fox coming to the set. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning in the middle of central London, and the only way the fox would come out of his little fox cage, sort of, you know, dressing room, was if they played I Won't Go Down with This Ship by Dido. They started playing I Won't Go Down with This Ship, and we were sort of ducking behind hedges waiting for this fox to be calm enough once it had listened to Dido. He was quite difficult to work with, but anyway, we won't go into that. What are my secrets to posing? Well, Paul says that I taught him how to pose on the internet, which is I just can't think of a worse teacher to tell you how to pose on the red carpet, because it's always so frightening. But try not to look like really terrified. They really do scream at you on the red carpet. Andrew! So when anyone screams at you, your instinct is to sort of say sorry, or at least mine is, because maybe that's because I was brought up in Catholic Ireland. So don't say sorry to the press. And then try and find something to do with your hands. Pockets, put them together. I don't know. I really don't think I should be giving any advice, actually, on any subject. Do you have a dream superhero or villain role? No. Do you remember your audition for Sherlock? I remember it extremely well. I was very anxious that they wouldn't think that I was just a little Irish innocent boy. So I was really determined to frighten the shit out of them. And I remember feeling that they were quite frightened and surprised. And Moriarty was only just supposed to appear at the very end of season 1, and he was only supposed to sort of say hello, and that would be the end of it. But they had to audition all the actors to see if they would be good enough to be not just in that segment but across 3 series. So they made up an audition scene for actors to do, and that's what I did in the audition. And they ended up using it, and it ended up being this big swimming pool scene in Sherlock. And it was beautifully written, and the producers were like, because I think I shouted at them or something. What is the secret to playing a convincing villain? I don't think you should ever feel like you're playing a villain. Everybody else can call you whatever they want to call you. But when you're playing a villainous character, you have to think, oh, well, I understand why he's doing it. Why is he doing this? I played a few villains, so to speak, in my time, and Moriarty certainly was one. Every fairy tale needs a good old-fashioned villain. But in relation to a character like Tom Ripley, people can call a villain, I really don't see him as a villain. I see him possibly as an anti-hero, but I don't think he's a villain, but that's just me. Are you a good liar in real life? No, I think I've got what's known as quite a scrutable face. People know what's going on. I'm not very good at disguising what I'm thinking, which is maybe a handy thing in real life, but on screen I think, I don't know, it's hard to know. But I'm not a good liar. I go really red. In fact, I think I'm going a little bit red now. Have I ever been caught in a lie? I really don't believe when you go and see somebody in a play and you haven't enjoyed it, that you should tell them. Like if I've been in a play and you know it's bad and someone goes, I didn't really go for it. Or they start, laying into why they don't like it. I just think, don't tell me now. Just buy the person a drink and talk about the costumes, or say, one of the things you can say is, you did it again. What's one thing you learned while working with Phoebe Waterbridge? Oh my God, so much. Phoebe knows how to live, she's so ridiculously generous and just massively fun. And she can come up with things creatively so incredibly quickly that are so right. A lot of the really iconic moments from Fleabag were things that we discovered really in the moment. And that's a really wonderful thing to hold on to, because it means that you're really alive on set, and you're not just walking around just being a slave to what you thought it might be. You have to listen to what's happening actually on the day. She's amazing. I love her. I love her, always. In what way does the Ripley series differ from the 1999 film? This is very film noirish. I think we really focus on the crime element. Italy looks completely beautiful. I think the real chief difference is that we spend a huge amount of time with Tom Ripley. It's 8.5 hours, and Tom Ripley, the character I play, appears in 95% of the scene. So we're spending a huge amount of time with him on his own, which was actually the singular challenge of playing the part, because I love the fun of the other actors. So you really get to delve into him and you see every thought that goes on in his head. And he's such an iconic character to play. John Malkovich actually played Ripley. He appears in our show too, which was really intimidating but wonderful. It's unlike any other TV show I've seen in recent years, and so I really hope people like it. I'm still Andrew Scott. Thank you for watching.